Welcome. This is Zangler, the Tesla Semi Advocate, and I am bringing you another video of the Tesla high volume semi factory construction. And now most of the activity, the building is essentially complete. Most of the activity is going on the inside. And what we can glean from the outside is there's a lot going on. A lot of parts been delivered. This is the Jayco. This is the northwest corner, and those white wrapped packages are Jayco paint shop material, support material. A lot of those, you saw those wooden crates, that's stuff that's been installed. And I think later in this video we see a crate being brought out. Anyways, we'll just get right into it. We're going to do circumnavigation. One thing that's new is those ventilation pipes, that row of ventilation pipes has been installed recently, and it's interesting. If you look at the top corner, now you're zoomed in, you can't see it, but we'll see it later. There's an area of this factory without skylights, and I asked Grok that based on the Texas Gigafactory, what could we anticipate is below the area with no skylights, and it answered unequivocally paint shop. Although all that Jayco paint equipment is in the northwest corner, not the southwest, not the southeast corner. So we'll see what's going on. A massive amount of cars are parked here. A good number, I would say the majority of these cars in this area are being bussed down to the LFP factory, the nearby LFP factory, and still interested to see what's going to go on top of that framework in the northeast corner of the building. As usual, we always take a look at what's going on with the Megacharger area, and they are putting in cabinets. Those are not Tesla proprietary charging cabinets, but high voltage cabinets that will eventually be hooked into the Megacharger cabinets, which then will feed power to the individual chargers. One of the things we've not seen a lot of, like Giga Texas, is tearing up of asphalt and concrete, but apparently there is some needed here also. This is wrapped Petra, and I do believe this is a electrical cabinet equipment from Petra, a electrical cabinet supplier, and you can see electricians working on getting this high voltage operation ready for the Megachargers. This is as good a time as any to point out that the Tesla Semi has always been made out of stamped steel parts. It never was carbon fiber, as some of our friends have apparently got the impression. I'm not sure where they got that impression. The subcontractors that supplied the pilot production line with stamped, completely assembled doors and stamped body parts have always been using stamped steel, and they will continue to use stamped steel. It's plenty light enough for this application. So anyway, just wanted to spell and clarify that. So what I did here was I spun the drone around so we could see the other side of what these electricians were doing, and confirmed that those are not Tesla cabinets, Megacharger cabinets, but rather the Petra electrical cabinets that eventually will feed a lot of amperage and voltage to the Megachargers here, that will charge probably part of the end of line and will charge up Tesla semis as they come off the factory line. People have asked why there isn't room for trailers, and that's because these are not operational Megachargers for out in the field. These will be bobtail semis without trailer that will pull in there and charge, get their initial charge, and they don't deliver them 100% charged. Any Tesla vehicle, from what I understand, is charged to like 50-60% for delivery, for safety reasons that others could probably clarify or opine on better than I, but apparently it's better in terms of thermal runaway. If it were to happen, a half-charged battery has less energy to deal with. So here's a massive area with, I'm a little bit color deficient, not colorblind, but I know those are blue. There's blue, red, and I think those are green and or gray wrapped assembly line equipment, and a lot of it. It has PO numbers on it and other numbering on it, and only Tesla and perhaps Grok can make heads or tails of it. There's the main entrance, and this is the stamping section. And as we've seen, there's still a stamping press to go in on this side that you can see, that you can just see inside that window. And of course, those are the gantry crane, disassembled gantry crane. But they're going to reassemble it, and that does show that area we still have some stamping presses to be delivered. Now, the $1 million, $50,000 question is what is this thing carrying? It came out of the south end of the stamping section G, and out of curiosity, I follow it for quite a while. It's clearly not freshly stamped. I mean, in my mind, the fact that it's painted means it's not freshly stamped, prototype stamped parts. Perhaps it's part of the stamping equipment and or a die. But be interested to see if you can make, if any of the readers, and there's the self-propelled mobile transporter vehicle that has been used to bring the stamping presses inside. Also, at one point in time, they had that giant truck actually back in one of the stamping presses and not set up the gantry crane. And you can look back at previous videos just like a month ago to see some very interesting stamping press delivery videos. So I encourage you to do that if you haven't been one of the longtime subscribers. If you're new to the channel, you can go back as far as you want. You can see videos where this is just a warehouse on wheels with a bunch of trailers, and then they move them all out, and they do months and months of earthwork and underground infrastructure before they start doing any work on the actual building. This is the southwest corner of the stamping building. We know that there's a giant bridge crane in there that will be used for moving and replacing the stamping dies. Even more equipment stamped outside, it's stored outside. Anywhere you go around this factory, there is assembly line equipment slowly being brought in and installed. And there's also, speaking of past videos, just a few videos ago, there is a nighttime, early morning video where you can get a little peek into the windows, through the windows, and see a little bit of what's going on inside there. Not super revealing, other than a lot of electrical work. So here's a zoom in on those new vents that have been installed. Interesting to me that there's a straight line of these vents. If they were for stamping, for the paint shop, I would expect to see them either in the northwest corner or the southeast corner, kind of in a grouping, as opposed to this line. I've gone back and forth on whether or not the paint shop would go that way from south to north, from right to left in this view. And that's why it's like this. Or the other thought was that there's multiple paint shop areas supporting multiple lines. Anyway, you can see they use guy wires to stabilize this equipment, this ventilation equipment, and it will be tested because this area of northern Nevada gets very high winds. 40 to 50 miles per hour is not uncommon. You can see a bunch of wire spools and a bunch of disassembled wood boxes that equipment has been brought out of, or the equipment was delivered in. It's been installed, and there's been a steady procession of a Tesla semi on a flatbed. In the previous video, we follow it as it hauls off a bunch of this packing material. Later, we zoom in on one of those and try to get a look at it. That one box, as we'll see later, is labeled NSM magnet something. So this is a fly around of the American flag as a tribute to the veterans, since it was Veterans Day last week. And you may have seen the Veterans Wrapped Tribute Semi in my last video at Shark's Teeth, and it was I guess it was the P-40 Thunderbolt. Somebody corrected me, but it had the shark's teeth akin to the P-40 early World War II fighter. So this is a look around, and in this look around, there is a massive amount of AI data centers going in. All of that work right there is groundwork, building cutting into the side of the hill to build an area for a huge AI data center. Bear with me while I bring up Grok, who informed me that the AI data centers in the area around USA Parkway and around Giga, Nevada include Switch, Vantage data centers, which I have a video where I cover that installation. That's a $3 billion, 224 megawatt AI focused campus. Powerhouse is, I think, the one that is on that dirt preparation. It's going to be a 49-acre site within Trick. Google, Tract, EdgeCore, Nova, and not to forget, Apple has a data server farm nearby, and Redwood Energy, collaboration with Crusoe, has a end-of-life automotive battery-powered AI inference data center using end-of-life batteries, which are no longer good for vehicles, but plenty good enough for to power a data center, with many more coming online. That white band that we just saw is diatomaceous earth, DE, tiny ocean or water creatures, billions and billions from ancient Lake Lahontan. And there's actually a large band of it nearby, and a mining operation that is constantly pulling out diatomaceous earth. This is Legacy Giga, Nevada, and we just saw two warehouse on wheels that replaced the one where the Giga Semi was built. Again, there's that row of filters or ventilation equipment that's recently installed, and in the left of the picture is the Jayco a lot more paint shop support material. You can see in the bottom left that ventilation equipment from Jayco, which is supposed to be a very low, super clean paint shop provider. A little peek inside one of the BFDs, I should say, big freaking doors. Not sure if that is a permanent structure that we're looking at there or if that was just staged equipment. Looks to me like staged equipment. I'm going to just let you take a look at the rest of the video, and I may interject if I see anything interesting. And here is them bringing out another crate. And you'll see that it drops it off, and I zoom in to try to get the name off of the one of the pieces of material that was brought in, NSM magnet something. First I thought it said made in China, but it does seem to be something different. Let me know what you think. Appreciate all the comments. It does help. And also, many of you know way more about these topics than I do, and that's one of the great things about this channel and these videos is I fly the drone, and viewers provide more knowledgeable color. And you'll see me zoom in here. I'm gonna go out with a little bit of music, and thank you for joining.